The East County Performing Arts Center in El Cajon has been closed since 2009 because of money problems. The city hopes to resurrect it through a planned tenant agreement with the Rock Church. But the idea isn't sitting well with everyone. Joining me are El Cajon Mayor Bill Wells and Ray Lutz, who heads a committee to save the Performing Arts Center. Mayor Wells, what does renting out the Performing Arts Center to the Rock Church do for the city of El Cajon?
Well, we've been planning to reopen the Performing Arts Center for a while now, and in the process of that, the Rock Church contacted us and offered us an opportunity to let them use it on Sundays and Tuesdays, and that's a pretty significant financial compensation for the city. It really comes out to about $1 million every 4 years, and that's significant because we take about a $600,000 a year subsidy to keep the Performing Arts Center running, and we've had difficulty maintaining that in the past, and we really don't want to have that problem again. So it gives us a really good business opportunity to not only mitigate some of our costs, but to provide good performing arts opportunity for the city.
Ray, why are you against the idea?
Well, this is basically, this theater, if you look at it, is right by the council chambers, the city hall, and the courthouse. It's in the same governmental superblock. It's owned by the public, and it was funded, it was outfitted by donations from the public. It's a public institution. And the city has a special obligation to the public to make sure that they're fair about which religions get to use this, which churches get to use this facility. It's outlined in our state constitution and our U.S. Constitution. They cannot, we don't believe legally, go into a 5, 10, or 35-year agreement with this church to use this theater, build an additional building, have their offices there, hold Sunday schools there, put a big sign on it, and become the Rock Church with them actually running all of the theater operation instead of being used by the community.
So Mayor, I want to ask you,
I'm
going to allow you to. The Rock Church says it's excited about bringing its ministry to the people of El Cajon. If they have a rental agreement with the city for the Performing Arts Center, the city will be allowing them to use this facility to do this. Why do you believe the city is on firm legal ground here?
Well, first off, we're not giving over the Performing Arts Center to the church. That's just a complete misnomer. We maintain complete control of the church. We're allowing them to use it for 2 days a week. This happens all the time in schools and other government buildings. This is a firmly established protocol that happens. In fact, the Constitution says that it's completely fine under the Establishment Clause as long as we're not aiding the church in any way. And we're not aiding. They're actually aiding us.
So, Ray, let's look at this center overall. The city says it did open up the bidding process to rent out the center. So has the process not been fair?
Well, the only reason they did that is we objected to the closed door sessions that they started negotiating with the Rock Church after what we believed that they actually reached out to the Rock Church first. They wanted to bring the Rock Church in there. These are evangelicals that run the city. They wanted to have this type of church in there. They wouldn't do this for, say, a Muslim mosque, for example. There was no way this would happen. And it is not the case. The agreement on the table, contrary to what Bill Wells says, is they are going to run all of the aspects of the theater for other users. And so they would be running the theater. They would be getting a 20%.
That's just a complete lie.
And that's what it's, since you haven't read it, Bill, you don't know.
Well, clarify what he's saying then.
Well, we specifically talked about that when we met with our city manager to talk about what would be acceptable, what would not be acceptable. Was we don't want a church running this Performing Arts Center. What if a group came in that they felt was contrary to their values, a singing group or a performance group? We didn't want them to have veto power over that, and that's how we are asking him to negotiate the lease. So he is completely understanding that we won't accept any kind of a lease that gives them control over the building. We retain complete control. And we are in charge of this. The city council will call the shots on this. And I agree that if we gave control of a government building over to a church, that would be a violation of the Constitution.
If the city doesn't rent it out to the Rock Church, what happens to the facility?
Well, we continue to go through the process of reopening it up, but we've always been looking out for other kind of partnerships, public-public partnerships or public-private partnerships. The first thing we did about 1.5 years ago, we reached out to a school district and said, why don't you partner with us instead of building new buildings? Why don't you use this building? And they couldn't do that, but we've been looking at all kinds of creative solutions.
So, Ray, the city says about 75% of Friday and Saturday nights and most weeknights would be open for the facility to be used for entertainment purposes. That still allows the facility, again, to be used for entertainment. Is there anything about this that appeals to you?
No. I mean, this theater can be reopened no matter what. So to say that it's either Rock Church or nothing, that's a false dichotomy. To lock in a particular user, a particular church user for all the days, all Christmases, all New Year's, all the Thanksgivings, all Good Fridays, only that church gets to use the theater. That's wrong. The city has to respect the access of this building to all types of churches, all religions, all faiths, not just one religion, not just their religion. And so from a church and state issue, it's wrong and it can't go forward in its current way. The school districts that do rent out their buildings to sometimes are limited to a one-year term.
Mayor, do you want to respond very quickly?
I just want to say that we put a request for proposal for any entity. The fact that this is a church is really a red herring. If this were another facility, I don't think he would object. I think he objects to churches in general.
And we've got to close it there. Mayor Ray, thanks so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Amita.
Thank you.